You don't join the British SAS to be a hero. You join because something in you has already decided that comfort is a kind of death, and you'd rather meet a real one. You thought it would be clean, tactical, surgical. It isn't. It's damp boots, empty stomach, orders that don't explain themselves, and the quiet understanding that if things go wrong, nobody will admit you were ever there. You don't sign up for glory. You sign up to disappear professionally. You grew up on a street that smelled like fryer oil and wet concrete, not poetic wet, just rain that never quite drains. Kettering, 2008. A Tesco trolley abandoned in a ditch like it gave up halfway through its shift. Your mum counting coins at the kitchen table. Your dad not there often enough to count. You learn early that money is just a number that decides whether the heating stays on. You learn that silence is cheaper than asking for help. The moment isn't dramatic. There's no speech, no music. You're 14, standing outside a corner shop on Montague Street, watching a man in uniform, just regular army, buy a sandwich like it's nothing. Clean boots, straight back, purpose, packaged neatly between two slices of white bread. You don't think, I want to serve my country. You think, he looks like he belongs somewhere. That's enough. You don't choose this path. It's a straight line drawn from hunger to structure. By 18, you're in. Infantry first, standard issue. You learn how to march before you learn how to think. They teach you to fold your clothes like you're packaging yourself for storage. Then comes the whisper. SAS selection. Not advertised, not encouraged, just mentioned like a bad idea that somehow sounds right. You volunteer. Nobody congratulates you. The Brecon Beacons don't care about your ambition. They don't care about your name either. They replace it with a number before the first hill. You carry 25 kilos, then 30, then more. You walk until your feet feel like administrative errors. There's an instructor, Staff Sergeant Hale, face like it's been left out in the rain too long, voice like paperwork, flat, inevitable. He doesn't shout much, doesn't need to. He gives you rules. Rule 1. Pain is information. Ignore it. It repeats itself. Rule 2. You are not special. The mountain will process you like everyone else. Rule 3. If you need motivation, you've already failed. Motivation is for people with options. Rule 4. Your mate is not your responsibility. The mission is. That one sits wrong. You don't say anything. You learn quickly that morality here is just a suggestion with poor career prospects. People drop out quietly. No speeches, just a hand raised, a nod, and they're gone. You keep going because stopping would mean going back, and going back means explaining yourself. You pass, barely, but barely is enough. You become something smaller and more dangerous. A tool with a name attached. Your first. Real operation isn't cinematic, no slow-motion breach. It's a compound outside Basra. 3:17 local time, 2 targets, 1 objective. Get in, get out, no noise. You clear rooms like you're ticking boxes. Door, corner, bed, shadow. There's a man reaching for something under a mattress. You don't wait to see what it is. Afterward, intelligence confirms it was a phone. They log it as potential communication device. You log it as the first time your brain decides to go quiet instead of loud. That's how it starts. Second operation. Kabul, urban, messy. You're told to extract a source. High value. Cooperative, on paper. In reality, he's a man in his 40s who keeps asking if his family will be safe. You're not authorized to answer that. You say, "That's above my pay grade. It sounds like a joke. It isn't." You get him out. 2 weeks later, you hear he's been relocated. No details. Just a line in a report. Assets secured. You stop asking what secured means. Promotion comes with less sleep and more responsibility. Corporal. Then sergeant. The numbers change. The work doesn't. Just the weight of it. Third operation, classified location, desert again. Always desert or mud. You're leading now. Intel says there are 3 hostiles. There are 5. Things go sideways in a way that reports call dynamic. You call it confusing. A young soldier, Private Ellis, hesitates. Just a second. Long enough. You correct the situation efficiently. Afterward, Hale, now a warrant officer, finds you. You made the call, he says. You nod. He hesitated, you add, like you're submitting evidence. Hale shrugs. Hesitation is just fear wearing a uniform. You wait for more. There isn't any. Ellis gets transferred. Not promoted, not punished, just moved. Like a file no one wants to open. You start to understand the system. At the top, it doesn't feel like war. It feels like a company with very strict KPIs. Objectives are deliverables. Targets are assets. Collateral damage is acceptable variance. There are briefings that sound like board meetings. Risk exposure. Operational efficiency. Strategic alignment. You sit in a room in Hereford with men who've never missed a meal, discussing people who won't survive the week. It's not evil. It's organized. And that's worse. You get better at it. Faster decisions, cleaner entries, fewer questions. Your bank account looks healthier. Special allowances, bonuses, money you don't have time to spend. Status comes quietly. A look from someone junior, a nod from someone senior. You belong now, but belonging here is conditional. Always. The crack doesn't come during a firefight. It comes during something small. Northern Iraq. Winter. Cold that gets into your teeth. You're securing a village. Standard sweep. Most people are gone. The ones left don't look at you. In one house, there's a woman and a boy. Maybe 8. The boy is holding a plastic car with one wheel missing. He looks at you like you're a problem he doesn't understand. You check the room. Clear. The woman says something. You don't speak the language, but you know the tone. Question, fear, calculation. The boy rolls the car across the floor. It veers left, useless. You reach down without thinking. Fix the wheel. It clicks back in. He smiles. Small. Automatic. Like his brain hasn't been briefed on what you are. For a second, the room isn't part of an operation. It's just a room. Then your radio crackles. Move. You stand up. Leave. Outside, the team leader asks, all good? You say, clear. You don't mention the car. There's no field for that in the report. That night, you don't sleep. Not unusual. But this time, it's not adrenaline. It's the realization that you can still feel something. And that's inconvenient. The reckoning doesn't announce itself. It's another mission. They're always another mission. Eastern Europe this time. Gray buildings, gray sky, gray everything. Objective, detain a target. High priority, minimal noise. You breach, move, clear. In the final room, the target isn't alone. There's a girl, maybe 10. She's standing behind him, holding onto his jacket like he's the only solid thing in the world. Your orders are clear. Detain, extract, no complications. The man complies. Hands up, easy. The girl doesn't let go. Your teammate moves to separate them. She screams. Not loud, sharp. It cuts through everything. For a second, you're back on Montague Street. Watching, not understanding, wanting things to make sense. Do it, someone says behind you. You don't. You hesitate. Just long enough. The man pulls away, tries to move. Everything accelerates. There's shouting, movement. A weapon appears from somewhere it shouldn't. You react. Too late to be clean. Early enough to survive. When it's over, the room is quiet again. Diane. Girl is crying. The man isn't moving. No one says anything to you. Back at base, it's framed as operational friction. No blame, no praise, just a note. Hale finds you later. You hesitated, he says. You nod. He studies you for a moment. Good, he says. You blink. Means you're still human, he adds. Won't last. You don't know if that's a warning or a compliment. After that, things change. Not officially. On paper, you're fine. Still effective. Still reliable. But you start noticing things. The way conversations stop when you walk in. The way assignments shift slightly. You're still inside the system. Just closer to the edge. Paranoia isn't loud. It's administrative. You check doors twice. Then 3 times. You memorize faces you shouldn't need to remember. Sleep becomes optional, then impossible. You start to forget what you were like before all this. There's no record anyway. Then comes the final job. Simple, they say. Quick, urban, Night. Rain that doesn't wash anything away. You're moving through an alley that smells like rot and diesel. Your boots slip slightly on something you don't look at. Behind you, footsteps. In front of you, a door. You're processing everything at once. Angles, shadows, exits. And then it clicks. You're not the one executing the plan. You're the risk being managed. The system doesn't remove people with announcements. It reallocates them. Your radio goes dead. That's when you understand. There's no way back. You move. Fast now. Real time. Heart rate up. Breathing controlled. Training takes over. You cut left instead of right. Not what they expect. A shout behind you. Then footsteps. Faster. You push through a side door into a stairwell. Concrete. Echoes. Up 2 flights, then down 1. Break the pattern. Your legs burn. You ignore it. Pain is information. You filed it away. At the exit, you hesitate. Just a fraction. Then you go. Outside, the city is indifferent. Cars passing. People somewhere. Living lives that don't include you. You blend, as much as you can. Every face is a question. Every shadow a possibility. You don't know who's still on your side. Then you hear it. A voice. Low. Familiar. Left. You turn. It's Ellis. Transferred. Forgotten. Not quite gone. He doesn't look at you. Just keeps walking. You owe me, he says. You follow. No time to ask why. No time to think. He leads you through back streets, service corridors, places that don't exist on official maps. At the edge of the city, he stops. That's as far as I go, he says. Why, you ask? He shrugs. Hesitation, he says. Remember? Then he's gone. You keep moving. Hours later, you're somewhere quiet, finally still. You sit on a cold bench, hands shaking slightly now that there's nothing left to do. In your pocket, there's something small. You pull it out, a plastic wheel. You don't remember taking it. But there it is. You turn, it between your fingers. All of it. Selection, missions, promotions, the system. It was supposed to build you into something. Efficient, controlled, necessary. Instead, it stripped you down to this. A man sitting alone holding a piece of a broken toy, realizing that the only things that ever felt real were the moments that didn't fit the mission. You wanted to belong. You do. Just not anywhere that can keep you. And that's the joke. You escape the system, but the system is the only thing that knows what to do with you. Everything else feels like a place you're trespassing. If this were a story, this is where I'd tell you what happens next. Whether you disappear, get found, or try to build something normal out of what's left. But you already know the answer. People like you don't retire. You just stop being where you were. So yeah, this is fiction. But the structure, the rules, the cost, that part's real enough to make you uncomfortable. Tell me, what part stayed? With you? The mountain, the boy, or the moment you realized there was no way back? And if you made it this far, you already know what to do.